guys, Mr. Martin here from Harvest Concept, Harvest Martial Arts, and today we're super excited because Raya, the Last Dragon, is coming out on Disney+. And so one thing that's really cool about Raya is Raya looks like there's going to be a lot of Filipino martial arts in it. Kali is actually what brought me to Hanmudo, which is what Harvest is all about. Harvest is about Hanmudo, and it's what we teach on a regular basis. And so because Kali was such a big part of my love of martial arts, I wanted to go back through and make this video today to explain through some of the techniques that we're going to see in the movie and how to get a better understanding and maybe start practicing some Kali on your own. Okay, so first I'm going to start off by talking about the weapons that we see in the movie. And the first weapon that we see Raya have is the Kali stick. And so the Kali stick is normally about 26 inches. They make some smaller ones for kids. This is for my daughter. These are 24 inches, and they're a little bit smaller around. You can see the diameter difference. Okay, so below I'll put a link for Century Martial Arts and my affiliate code, so you can find these online and get a little bit of a discount. I'll also put a link for Amazon. These are foam Kali sticks. And these are great for kids to learn to practice with if you want to have some fun playing with them. The problem is they still hurt if you get hit really hard with them. So be careful before you give the kids away or give these to the kids and let them just have their way around the house beating each other up. They don't feel great to get whacked with. So make sure that you're watching out for it. But I will put a link below in the comments or in the description. This is a Ganunting. And so the Ganunting is about the same length as the Kali stick. One thing that we see in Kali, what's really cool about Kali, is that the stick, the knife, the hand, or the machete or sword is all used in the same way. And these bladed weapons were used for tools in the field. They were used as weapons. But one thing that's special about the Filipinos is that they used a lot of old metal that came from broken swords and stuff from when they'd been invaded, and they created new style weapons out of those. And so the Ganunting is hooked reverse with a sharp edge and then another sharp edge at the top. And again, we talk about the puño from the stick. This has a puño in the handle too that we can use to hook and use as a weapon also. So just really cool weapons and parts of Kali that we see throughout. So first things first, with Kali, what we're going to do is we're going to hold this stick in a certain way. So I'm going to grab the stick, and down here at the bottom, this is called the puño, and the puño is another part of the stick that I can use as a weapon. You're going to see striking coming from the back or also hooking with the stick as we go through. There's even chokes that you're using the stick as you wrap it around the neck, or throws hooking behind the neck and throwing with the Kali stick. Very, very cool, very useful tool. And the next part about it will be that I want to be nice and loose in my wrist, okay? So I'm not super stiff like I'm trying to bash with a mace. I'm light in my wrist. The last part that I'll say with the Kali stick is that I'm pulling through with my Kali stick. Pulling through with the Kali stick. So it's not reaching out. I'm going to turn to the side here. It's not reaching out with the Kali stick. It's pulling through with the Kali stick. Basics of Kali is that just like in Hanmudo, we're working on diagonals. And so I'm going to imagine there's an X right here in front of me, and the center of it is going to be the center of my nose. And when I cross with my Kali stick, I'm going to cross right there in the center of my nose, making this X. These are the basic moves right here. These are 1s and 2s. So I'm pulling across my body, 1 and 2. Next 2 strikes, this is 3 and 4. So now I'm going to come up on the diagonal, up and across. Again, I'm pulling through the technique. I'm not letting my Kali stick reach out, pulling through, and the center of the X, again, is on my nose. Very, very important. One more thing that I'll say before I move on is these strikes, when I'm going through, this is a fluid strike. It's a fluid motion. This ties back into Hanmudo because we talk about Mahunde movement, infinity movement. And so this Kali motion of pulling through and circling around would be a fluid strike. We'll talk about broken strikes here in a minute. Real quick, I want to go to something else because in the movie, in the previews, we see Raya with 2 sticks, and she starts out with them up here behind her back, held on by her belt. Well, we call this an open chamber position or an open position in Kali. And so when I have both sticks up here, this is great because it's going to work the right and the left side. I can come across and I can do my 1s and my 2s, and then I can come up and do my 3s and my 4s. So I can practice 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm moving all the way through the motion, locking it in as I get into each position. Here, coming up, 3, 4, and again I'm making that X in front of my nose, pulling through the techniques. One more thing while we're on this topic, because I think this was super cool, is the simple roll, okay? So in the very beginning, we see her with her Kali sticks behind her back, and she comes forward and she rolls to get into position. This is a super fancy looking move, but it's very simple. So she comes out, she's rolling into her position. So real quick, I'm going to show you. Put your thumb out just like this. So thumbs out, I'm going to roll forward, around, and up. So forward, around, and up. So then when I put my stick back into my hand, it's going to go forward, around, and up. Forward, around, and up. Forward, around, and up. And so this is a great thing to practice one hand and then practice the opposite hand so you get good with both. And then you can do it with both hands. You're going to be a little bit loose with your fingers. Really grabbing with the index finger and the thumb allows you to get that circle around and back up here. Okay, one more thing that's in the movie preview. We see her charging at someone we assume must be a bad guy. He's got a sword that she's later holding in her hand with the sweet dragon handguard on it. And, you know, when she charges at him, it's a big cool point in the movie, and we're super excited to see what happens if she does this big super strike on it. But what I think I want to point out about this is that she's moving in a very Kali way. She's moving on her 45s. Again, the 9 directions of movement is something we talk about in Hanmudo when we talk about these diagonals. So these angled movements flow throughout the different martial arts. And when she's moving forward on the 45. Side to side as she goes. We see this all the time. So you see it in American Ninja Warrior where the guys are jumping to the triangles side to side. This is a very ninja-based movement that we've seen throughout lots of different martial art styles. Even in Hanmudo, when we're doing our Mahunde movement, we're moving off on the 45 and striking, or later on in the Udon sets, we're striking through, moving on the 45s. Very important movement to martial arts. So what we can do as we're practicing with our Kali sticks, I'm going to set one down so I just focus on the 1 right now, is we can move on that 45. So I can step and go through my strike and chamber again. Step and go through my strike, chamber again. Step and strike, step and strike. Constantly moving on those angles as we go. And again, we're doing our fluid motion pulling through. Alright, so one more drill with the Kali sticks. I think this is another really good one. This would be called Heaven 6. And when we talk about the basic striking of Kali, this to help you practice these basic movements and practice broken striking and fluid striking. So earlier I said that fluid motion was like our Mahunde motion in Hanmudo, where we're pulling through, doing this circular strike all the way through. So a broken strike is coming forward and back. So forward and back, returning to that chamber position. when I do this broken striking, we talked earlier about this being our open chamber position. We also have a closed chamber position. So now I'm in a guarded position right here. This guarded position is going to allow me to do the heaven six. So watch, I'm going to do a broken strike. I'm coming forward with my top hand, striking again on that 45. Then I pull back. As I pull back, my bottom hand comes through and around, and my top hand comes and switches. So here, broken strike, bottom, top, and they switch. Broken, fluid, broken, fluid, broken, fluid, broken, fluid. Good. So strike, back, bottom, top, replace. All right, so from the side now. Broken, fluid, broken, fluid. So that's Heaven 6. Heaven 6 is just a great way to practice, and especially once you get good at practicing on your own, then later on you can start practicing with a partner, and it's a great partner drill. Really cool thing about Kali is that there's so many partner drills back and forth. With the sticks, with their striking, everything flows on the 45. We also talked that the sticks are a training tool, but they're also a weapon used to strike an opponent and fight with. The hand fights in the same way, whether it be fist or open. So one more thing we see in the movie is Raya bust out a really awesome spinning sidekick. And I think that this spinning sidekick is something that's really, really important to practice as a martial artist because it can be very, very powerful when you learn to use it. And it takes years to practice, but no better time to start than right now to learn a spinning sidekick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around backwards so you can follow along from the back. And what's going to happen first is my front foot is going to turn around and face the camera. So I'm here, my front foot turns all the way around, and watch my body turns as it happens. Now my head is going to go all the way around, my hands are leading, my back foot's going to come up, and sidekick straight back. Then I land back in that position going forward. Okay, so now from the side, I'm here, my front foot turns all the way to the back, I look over the shoulder, I'm going to come up, sidekick, and then I pivot all the way around to that fighting position, moving forward. Okay, one more time. So now facing forward to you, my front foot turns all the way around, I chamber the kick, side kick, and then pivot forward and down. Okay, so doing this together, I want you to follow along with me this time. My left foot's in front, my hands are up in guard position, my left foot turns towards the camera. I'm looking over my right shoulder as I turn all the way around, side kick, and down. Then I'm going to step back and reset one more time. So as you do this, you have to turn all the way over your back shoulder. Your eyes have to be the first thing that go around to look at that target as you move. Ready? So I pivot, I look all the way over the shoulder, kick, and down. Stepping back. Okay guys, so I gave you guys some stuff to practice on, and please take a moment and review through, watch all parts of this, and then go through it. Make sure that you're practicing in a safe place and you're not doing something that's going to hurt you or somebody else, or even stuff in your house. You don't want to break your parents' stuff. That's no good. The last thing is that feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Please comment below. Subscribe to our channel because we'd love to do more of these Disney-based videos. And I really hope you enjoy Raya and the Last Dragon because I think it's going to be another good one. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys soon. Hi.